Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. Going back out to Forbidden Root, Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, courtesy of my man Kraj. He's the dude at the end of my video. You guys know him. You love him. He's the GM, the head man in charge. King shit of fuck mountain at Forbidden Root. This is really very, and this beer is per the label a double dry hopped, double IPA. We saved the biggest one for last. It is GABF week. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. It's GABF week in Denver. Forbidden Root will have some beers on in bars. This is one of them that you'll be able to find out and about on the town. So check it out. We drank Steadfast, we drank Ratings Embargo, and now we're drinking Really Very. Steadfast is going to be on at Finn's, and then this beer should be on just at other bars out in Denver. So anyways, double dry hop, double IPA. It says double dry hop with Nelson, Lotus, and Belma. It has been a while since I've had a beer with Lotus. I was talking to my buddy Zach from Shred about hops that we haven't had in a while, and I remember having a beer with Lotus hops years ago, and I loved it, and I'm like, how come more brewers aren't using Lotus hops? So I'm stoked to drink this beer. So yeah, into our Forbidden Root glass, because you guys know beer tastes better when you use the proper vessel. This beer is hazy AF. We just drank Ratings Embargo, and that beer was wild. This beer looks better in the glass than that beer did. It was very like Headroom-esque. It was just intensely hoppy, wildly hoppy, just super pithy, grapefruity, and I couldn't taste the stuff that I was smelling because my tongue was numb. So it was fun to drink. It just was so fucking hoppy. I have not had a beer that hoppy in a long time. So looking forward to seeing what this one's all about. I love Nelson. I don't know much about Belma. Is Belma new? I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, this beer is really hazy, but this is like Steadfast that we drank. It's more like that kind of sunshiny yellow. Again, with this one, the heads on these just do not stick around. They just have to be so heavily hopped, and the hop oils, I think, are affecting head retention. But it is haze for days, just like you guys like it these days, just like you guys like it still. Let's smell this beast. 8.2%, we said? 8.2%. This is very Nelson. This has a little bit of the Nelson funk. Doesn't go quite like tomato vine, but it's very earthy. Yeah, it's earthy. It's grape skin. It smells like dusty, dirty. I love that part of Nelson. This has a little bit of... it's got a little bit of a yeasty thing to me. I did not notice that in the last beer, which seems weird. That beer probably should have smelled more yeasty. This has kind of like that yeasty thing that I get sometimes out of like super, super hazy beers. But yeah, grape skins. There's like it's like, I don't know if it's mango. There's something like fruity, but it almost, not peppery, but I think it might be mango. Or like stone fruit maybe. I love like this is so different than the other two beers that we drank. I love the earthy part of this. There's a little bit of like a citrus thing, but yeah, there's like this generic kind of tropical, maybe like fruit punchy kind of a thing. But yeah, that funk, I love it. It smells awesome. Let's go and taste it. Kraj, cheers. Appreciate you, bro. So this, just like the last beer, very pithy, just intensely hoppy. This fucking, like, these last two beers are two of the hoppiest beers I've had in probably a year and a half. I cannot recall a beer or beers hoppier than the last two beers I've had. I was texting with Kraj after I was drinking these beers. I mean, and he had mentioned Headroom. These beers, the last two beers, are like that. I don't know if they just took inspiration from that and they're like, we're just gonna brew the craziest, hoppiest beer we can. This beer, you get the Nelson, like the grape skins at the front of your tongue, but as soon as it goes across to the middle of your palate, it is fucking straight grapefruit pith, orange pith, just the most intense, even almost like biting into a lemon. I've told the story before, like when beers are like this. Growing up, my dad used to get iced tea when we'd go out to dinner, and they would always put lemon wedges in it, and I would take a lemon wedge and eat the whole thing, the rind and everything, and it reminds me of that. I think lemon peel is probably a good descriptor for this beer. This beer's chewy, and you'd expect that out of an 8.2% beer, but it doesn't taste hot. It doesn't taste like alcohol. It is just, again, fucking wildly hoppy. These beers are crazy hoppy. Is anybody else in Ohio making beers like this? Like the Fathead beers that I drink, they're mostly West Coast style, and they're very hoppy, but nothing like this. The last 2 beers I've had, literally, I've said it before in other videos, my tongue is numb drinking these. It's crazy. You talk about like palate fatigue. These aren't beers you could session. I mean, you're not going to anyways. It's over 8%. It's hazy. Like some of you guys are fucking savage like that, and you can, session beers like that. But yeah, the white grape skin is rad. You get that earthiness on the front of your tongue, and then as it goes across, it's like fuck off. You're not tasting anything else. It is grapefruit pith, lemon peel. Finishes. This one is fairly dry for 8.2% too, but again, you can't chug this because you won't be able to taste anything. But yeah, this one's chewy. The people who love hazy beers probably love this beer. Again, it's not that I don't enjoy this. It's just I don't know how you would drink a lot of this. Like when I used to chase Headroom, I would get that beer and I would drink like 1 can and then let my other 3 cans out of a 4-pack sit, and then I would drink one like a month later and then I would let it sit. Like these aren't beers that I can drink all the time. It's too much for like it. You won't be able to fucking taste anything. If you're a GABF though, and you're like into those super hype New England style beers from like the big breweries, I think it's worth your while to check the beers out that they're going to have on out there at those bars and just compare it. See what you think. I think people who are big Headroom fans will love these beers. People who are just after the most intense hop forward hazy beers will love these beers. Like that's what I used to like. It wasn't in a hazy form back then, but I always wanted like the most intense hoppy palate wrecking grapefruit forward West Coast IPA I could get my hands on back in like 2010, 2011. And that's what this is, but in a hazy form. So, I mean, listen, this beer's good. It's so fucking intense. Like, I wish I could taste other flavors, but what you do taste on the front of your tongue is great. It's just after that, you can't taste anything else. But it's fun to drink. So I'm glad you shared these, Kraj. So that's really very, and it's really very hoppy. It should be called really very fucking hoppy. Because that's what this beer is. So check this one out if you're at GABF this week in Denver. You guys have fun. I wish I was there. Maybe next year. October's a hard month for me. It's my youngest son's birthday, and then you have homecoming in October. Like, it's tough for travel, but I would love to make GABF one of these days. So anyways, that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. See you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.